Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Historically, the maritime sector has been given a short shrift, in spite of the fact that this sector carries 95% of India's trade. But the new government, headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has realized that if its Make in India initiative has to succeed and India's ranking in terms of ease of doing business has to improve, then the country's maritime sector must be given a big boost. Towards this objective in mind, the Modi government has announced a number of policies and initiatives during the last few months. Evidently, there seems to be a lot of buzz around the port sector. But what's the reality at the ground level? That is our talking point. Joining on the show is Mr. C. Sasidhar, the moving force behind Krishnapatnam Port.
Shashi, welcome to the show. Shashi, now that I'm standing in this port today, I cannot but ask you, are ships waiting for the berth or berth waiting for the ships? Historically, ships had to wait for 20-24 days to get a berth. So how is the scene today?
Well, in private ports like Krishnapatnam Port, we see a ship asking for a berth is equal to an appointment, or you reserving a table in a restaurant, and then the restaurant makes you wait.
Yeah.
So you book a table at 8 o'clock, and then the restaurant still makes you wait till 9 o'clock. How frustrated you are.
True.
Now, this is how we look at a private port like in Krishnapatnam Port. So now, it's just not ship to berth and berth to ship. There's so much other connecting also, which makes the ship wait outside.
Okay.
For example, how much time a trailer is taking to come in and go out. How much time a train is coming, waiting, loading, unloading, and going out. So turnaround of everything is connected to the ship. This is how we see in a whole gamut thing.
What would be the dwell time in Indian ports, both major and non-major, compared to, let's say, Singapore or Rotterdam? There was 19 hours and 14 hours. How it is in Indian port, plus how it is at Krishnapatnam also?
We are trying to match international standards in Krishnapatnam Port. Yes, major ports I'm not very sure. For us, a container ship, it takes about 90 minutes. As soon as the container ship comes, you know that what time he arrives. So our tugs are ready there, and it's a 90 minutes time for him to come inside, and 50 minutes time for a trailer to turn around. So when I say ship, I always say about trailer and
everything,
yes.
The entire value chain you're looking at. Okay, when I look at the whole port scenario in terms of cargo handled today, it's something like 900 million metric tons. 2020, we are looking at the figure of 3,000 million metric tons. So what would be the share of private sector port vis-a-vis the public sector?
Well, private sector will have a major share, to my guess. Reason being, master plans, like if you see the master plan of private sectors, all private sectors, they have planned for further cargo. They have planned for more cargo. For example, we can go up to 220, 250. Like all private sector master plans, if you see, they have appetite for, they have land, they have everything already planned. And you see major ports, they're already 40 years, 50 years old. So those master plans they build, they thought till 50 years, and that 50 years is already old. So they don't have land, and it's difficult for them to expand fast. And as I said, they have bureaucracy problem. It's not easy if they can take decisions like that. So that makes them little slow down, I guess.
There is a lot of inefficiency in the system, in the whole logistic chain, which brings me to the question that now the logistic cost as a percent of GDP is 14% in India. When I look at US and UK, it's 9%. Now exporters keep talking that the transaction cost in India is 7 to 10% higher than their global counterpart. So what is the way of addressing this, you think?
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, because logistics, how deep any government or any management or anybody is going in this logistics. There's so much of depth we can go into this logistics. For example, when you say logistics in China, in fact, when I went to Tampa once for a conference, I saw Americans worrying about the way Chinese are looking in the logistics. We don't hear about engines or efficiencies of a train.
Yeah.
We only hear like a bullet train, we hear about a fast train, But I heard them talking about, okay, China has now recently come out with a new train engine which gives more efficiency. I mean, we never hear these things in India. So how deep you're going into the logistics is the whole game changer.
What, according to you, how can we resolve the logistic cost? Is it because I was told, suppose Golden Quadrilateral is connected the country, but the flip side is a truck traveling from, say, Delhi to Bangalore has to make 38 times its stop. It's traveled at speed of 21 kilometer. Documentation, octroi, various kinds of taxes. So how can we cut off all this thing according to you? Do you think the GST coming in will make transform all this thing?
Absolutely. GST is very, very important. It's now like this. We walk like this, and then we have a toll gate here. If you go like this, there's a toll gate, but it's a less charge. If you go like this, there's no toll gate. So what we do, we see the time, money, value, and say, okay, let's avoid this toll gate. You go around and park our cargo around and go back and avoid something. So sometimes, when you're going in a road, you avoid some toll gate if it is possible. So that is how logistics have been avoiding some states also when they are having higher taxes. So now once the GST comes, this is whether you will go straight. So because this toll gate and that toll gate,
so
all
one country,
will be
one tax.
Yes, that will help a big boom in the logistics.
So I think the government and everybody has been talking of multimodal transport. What is your view on multimodal transport? Is it doable?
It is doable, but nothing is impossible. We have to find a way to do it. Like you should understand, I feel detail, you have to go detail in any logistics and understand and compare each other. Like if a ship is moving, it's taking 2 lakh tons, 1 lakh tons, and 1 lakh 80 tons ship is equal to some 6,000 trucks.
Yeah.
So how far you can take a ship inside, so that you're moving 5,000 trucks in one small thing with one engine. How far you can take it. So how far you can take it means, you're
in terms of optimization.
You're reducing the distance. So how detailed you go into this logistics in every model. It could be a truck, a train, or a multimodal, or how detailed you're going into makes all the difference.
Yes, Shashi, now we are hearing about revival of Sagarmala projects. I believe the government is looking at developing some 10 coastal economic zones. This will be like a manufacturing hub that will support the port. What is the sense you are getting that will this alter the landscape of the maritime sector?
Something is moving.
Yeah.
It's not gets like yes, Sagarmala makes a lot of impact, especially in ports which are already filled with their master plan, congested, they can't accommodate more. And ports which just started and they have a lot of appetite, you'll get a good balance between both. And it is just not only ports will have the good business, it's also the consumer, the traders, the economy. A lot of good things will happen.
The minister is talking about investing some 5 lakh crores of rupees. He's talking about relaxing the cabotage rules.
Yeah.
He's talking about various things to give a boost to the inland waterways. So will it be a game changer for the maritime sector?
Definitely, but it depends on which inland water we are talking about.
Okay.
The inland water which are connecting the landlocked areas are very good. They really give a lot of boom. But inland water like Buckingham Canal, which is actually running on the coast, doesn't make any difference. In those days when Britishers' time, the ship depths, you don't need a boat. They were not big ships also when they built. It was only about 2 meters, and 3 meters. Then the canal used to do a lot of business. Now these coastal, they can't do much of business.
Okay.
Because a customer would rather like to take it in a bigger ship rather than taking a canal of 600 tons.
Okay.
It won't be viable.
So Buckingham Palace would be out of place. What about other places?
But connecting landlocked areas like Haldia and these are connecting the landlocked.
Okay.
Suppose if I'm connecting from Krishnapatnam to Hyderabad, or Hyderabad to Nagpur, or Nagpur to Delhi.
You're talking about say Varanasi to Haldia.
Oh, it will be a great game changer.
It will really give the whole maritime sector a big boost.
How much you spend, you'll get back your money. Country will get back its money.
Earlier we talked about, can Indian port sector scale up from 900 million metric tons to 3,000 million metric tons. Do you think this number is doable in 5 years' time?
Yes, the way we are going right now, opening up Sagarmala and all other things, with the way the government is taking decisions, I think it is possible. It is possible.
Do you feel that PPP model is the best way to promote the maritime sector? It will go a long way in boosting this. Is the right way to go about it? At least it has been successful where private ports are concerned.
PPP model are PPPs only will be successful when there is a demand. Suppose you say suddenly a state government says we will start a port here. No entrepreneur will come and pour in about 2,500 crores just to start a phase one of a small port.
True. Yeah. Sure.
If you have to build a breakwater, you have to build 3 berths and dredge up to 13.5 meters. 2,500 crores is the minimum you require to start a port. So that means in first year itself you have to do 10 million minimum. First year you have to do 10 million.
Okay.
And you have to go up to minimum of 40 million is what you have to do. So do we have that cargo? Then the PPP will be successful. So if the government decides no, the port should come, so the city develops and the economy develops, if the government takes a view on that, they can say that okay, we will give you some 1,000 crore subsidy. Okay, you put in 1,500. Yes, then that will be viable. So this is it's like a marriage. You need to understand the demand, and the government have to understand the demand and see whether if the demand is there, PPP will come.
Shashi, now let me turn to Krishnapatnam port. What made you get into this port business, number one? What kind of investments have you made? And what kind of capacity are you going to build over the next 5 years?
Our port, we are into Naviga Engineering Company. Naviga Engineering Company is a engineering company. We do a lot of marine jobs, piling, foundations. That's how we entered into port constructions. We have constructed almost all the ports in the country as a contractor.
Oh.
So that is how our chairman has more than 35 years experience in building ports.
Oh, that's a specialization.
So we have an idea of how to build a port. So once when my chairman first came to this port, because this port MOU agreement was done way back in '97 by Natco Pharma. So they were looking for a contractor. So we approached them like a contractor.
Okay.
And then we also, since my chairman also knows Natco Pharma chairman, so we found that they were having some issues with the financial closure and all that. So that made us offer them to if they can buy some shares. So that's how we taken over. Slowly there were discussions, and then we've taken over the port. Once we've taken over this port, we saw, yes, this natural advantage is there and natural backwater is there, and we found this, and we also started talking to captive industries which were willing to come up. So when government itself was willing to put a AP Genco, which they already inaugurated now. So there was a captive cargo, and there was a hinterland. Okay. The hinterland, when we have Bangalore as a hinterland, we have Hyderabad as hinterland, 2 major cities, and a part of Chennai also we can be near to it. So this hinterland, looking at this business scope and demand, we thought this port can become India's largest port, and there's a lot of backland. We have 6,500 acres of land. Okay. So that is how we made us go very strong in this master plan, and we right now we've invested almost 8,000 crores.
Advertising, branding or marketing is unheard of in the port sector.
Yeah.
Your porters use both print and television. You use Formula 1 driver Narayan Karthikeyan. You use golfer Sharmila Nikolde. What made you do this, and what is the benefit you're getting out of that?
Yeah, Narayan Karthik, I wanted to say, we want to show that we are fast in connectivity. We have a 6-lane road and a 2-lane for a fantastic railway network inside. We have fast connectivity, quick. So who's quick? Formula 1 is one speed. When you talk about speed, is that. And when you talk about Sharmila Nikolde, she's from Bangalore. She's in our hinterland. We build some loyalty also. Encouraging some golfers who are also encouraging them to. That also one part. And accuracy. In golf, what you need is really, you need accuracy. So accuracy is
So
where
you
we-
got speed, you got accuracy,
yeah.
and you
then
got
one-
depth also. So you got a stuntman to do the depth
Yes.
part also.
Yes.
But what has been the advantage? Are you seeing any advantage of doing this kind of advertising, marketing, branding?
A lot of customers who never know us, they came to us saying that, okay, we saw your ad, we saw this, and a lot of customers who come.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, because people, port means somewhere backyard, seaports especially. Normally it is like a junkyard, it's a cargo, it's a dirty.
True.
So I won't bring that new change. Port is not a junk thing. Port is actually a life. Port gets you a life. If you see New York, you see Hong Kong, what ports made, what difference the ports made.
Yeah.
That's what we want to bring in. You don't see a Hong Kong port so dirty. Why should we be dirty? They're so proud of their port. Singapore port, they're so proud of their port. And when I remember Singapore, when they first saw Chennai port, way back in, I guess in 1950s, they're having a dream. We should build a port like Chennai, is what they dreamed when they first saw Chennai port. And they went back, and then now today they're doing 35 million to use, and Chennai is doing 1.2, 1.8 million to use.
So you're doing a lot of new things in this port. Have you also managed to change the supply chain dynamics of this port? And if so, what have been the monetary benefit for your client? What have you done in this port that has transformed your clients?
I was connecting, supply chain means is instead of having each logistic as one department, I made all one. Interestingly, what I found is these departments don't communicate in other ports.
Okay.
Recently, we got this. We can have these WhatsApp groups.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's funny, but it really works. If a ship is coming and they know it's coming by in 10 days, if the customer service group, marine group, and the operation group have one group of media or some kind of a WhatsApp or something. So if somebody, there's no blame game here because everybody sees the message. There could be 10 people or 50 people.
Yeah.
Everybody sees the message. So if he has any objection, he have to ask in the group. So everybody sees it. So we made these groups.
So WhatsApp Krishnapatnam Port Group.
No, it's like everything. We have a group for marine.
Okay.
We have group for we have a group for task force.
Okay.
Very important. So suddenly 3 ships are coming at a time. So we have to really work. So all departments are linked up. Okay, now timing is very important. So okay, did you go? Did you come? All this. Everybody is aware. The ship is already arrived. Everything. So we are connected. There's no blame game. They can't say that, oh, I didn't know. You always get this blame games. And so I don't mind how I'm connecting, whether WhatsApp or email. I'm communicating or not is important.
At one level, you're changing the supply dynamics. At another, so your customers are benefited. They're very happy.
Yes.
Have you transformed this region by setting up the port? What kind of transformation has taken place in terms of the client, in terms of changing the whole ecosystem here economically? Before the port came, after the game, what is the scene like?
It's a story like for any port in the world, how it changed. It is the same way it is happening in Krishnapatnam port. I would say nothing less than 2 crore people have benefited from one level to next level.
2 crore people.
Entire region is being benefited. There's so much of business is coming, so much of employment is coming, so much of industries are coming. Government has announced Krishnapatnam Smart Industrial City very soon in this budget.
Oh.
So industrial city is going to come. Lakhs of jobs are going to come. Why? Because there's a gateway, and a very promising gateway, and a very efficient gateway, which doesn't make any demurrages for them. There's so much port adds so much to the economy.
So your dream is to make Krishnapatnam the gateway to Asia Pacific. I read somewhere. So how far are you away from your dream?
I would like to say there are 3 steps.
Okay.
One step is to build the port, make it very efficient, get all the infrastructure. Like as I said, we can serve even the world's largest ship sailing on the seas now. So first step is we built it, kept it ready, made it efficient. Operations, the best operations, even comparing to any international standards, we're the best operations because no port in India or in the world has a single window clearance 100% like what we're doing.
Okay.
So that's why we stand up and say that we are the best in the world also.
Yeah.
So first step is finished.
Yeah.
Second step is now how to get the transshipment get back Indian cargo to Indian ports.
Okay.
So we are open now to say that okay, transshipment is the next step. We get back our cargo. And third step is making India. We become a transshipment for other countries. So this is the third step. This is how I think I see step by step where we have to go. We, like our port and the country as a gateway.
So that's what I see. You've got a very clear strategy, very focused approach. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for talking with us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.